This movie is starring Linus Roach as the villain, and I know him more as Thomas Wayne from the amazing Batman film Batman Begins. He has the incredible quote from that movie, "Why do we fall, Bruce? So we can learn to pick ourselves up." A quote that means so much to me, I actually had it tattooed on my forearm this summer. It means the world to me. And because of this movie, I have now seen his penis. Mandy, released in 2018 and is directed by Panos Cosmatos, who is also behind the film Beyond the Black Rainbow. And this film, of course, is starring Nic Cage, Andrea Riseborough, and Linus Roach. Red and Mandy live in a secluded cabin in the middle of the woods. And as the first 40 to 45 minutes of this film will show you, they live a very simple and comfortable life. But one day a car passes by Mandy that allows cult leader Jeremiah to become infatuated by her and needs her at all cost. So they invoke the assistance of what seems to be three supernatural, like Hellraiser monsters to invade their quiet cabin and take Mandy and Red captive. However, during Jeremiah's attempt at seducing Mandy, Mandy ends up laughing in his face, and this cult murders her in front of Red's eyes. So after leaving Red for dead, he breaks free and vows vengeance on this cult. The best word that I can use to describe this movie is experience. This movie is an experience. And if you've watched other reviews about the film, you've probably heard this phrase of, wow, it's different from any other film, it's told different than any other film, it's shot differently than any other film, and a lot of that is true. This doesn't feel like your stereotypical film, just in general. We have seen the basis of this story before, though. This is, when you break down to it, it is a standard revenge film, where someone of the couple watches their loved one be tortured and killed in front of their eyes, and then for whatever reason is left for dead, and they break free, and then they vow vengeance upon those that wronged him and murdered his loved one. That part is nothing new. What is different about this movie is the cinematography and the pacing. The way that we are establishing exposition, the way we're establishing these characters and their relationship and the status quo that they're living in. It's so unique. They live out in the middle of the woods, so from my vantage point and my understanding, it seemed like they're under like an aurora borealis. That influences all of the lighting choices in this movie to be this strange violet, pinkish, reddish type color that looks pretty frickin' beautiful on screen. The why behind that, though, is not really there. It's just, it's there. It looks cool. And Linus Roach, who plays Jeremiah, does a great job of portraying this cult leader to have all of these followers just completely brainwashed by what he is preaching, the way of the Lord, and how his way is the only right way. You believe that he would have followers who would go to these depths of doing what you would think is just morally wrong in order to please this leader. What was weird and comes out of nowhere and is actually very terrifying were these three biker gang people with nails coming out of their arms and weird goo on their face. Apparently they did like way too much concentrated LSD. That's the explanation. These are actual humans, I guess, which I have never done drugs, let alone LSD, so I couldn't relate to what happens to you when you do that. But if you do drugs enough that eventually it turns you into these biker people, I never want to do drugs. I'm a good little boy. But that leads us all to probably why this film has any notoriety. It's Nic Cage, who plays Red, who plays our main character, who vows vengeance on these people. He's actually pretty damn good here. Cage is a good actor. We don't give him enough credit for being a very talented actor because a lot of his method and a lot of his interpretations of character is very nuanced. It's very energetic. I watched a Variety interview with him where he talks about his influence of why he does such crazy looking faces and crazy bodily movements, because he likes German Impressionism, or he likes Bruce Lee. There's a neck snap scene in this scene that's right out of Enter the Dragon where Nic Cage just grabs the head and goes, "Ha!" But he also has a very impressive one-take scene where it's just after Mandy has been murdered and he enters the bathroom. He has a huge thing of vodka and he starts chugging it. He starts pouring it on all of his cuts and wounds, and he goes through a wide variety of emotions. It starts off where he's angry and he's screaming. It seems like the typical Nic Cage thing that we usually get, where he's seems like he's hamming it up, but then he gets to points where he's breaking down, and he's sad, he feels lonely, he's depressed, he doesn't know what he wants to do, he feels lost, and it comes back to anger, and then sadness again. It's actually a very impressive scene. Someone on the outside may look at it and go, oh, that's just Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage, which, yes, he does do Nicolas Cage a lot, but it's a scene that really got to me, and I was really impressed by it. And it was only amplified because what preceded it was this weird, strange little commercial that kind of broke all of the tension after Nicolas Cage comes in from the cabin after his wife has been murdered, and it's the Cheddar Goblin. It's this corporate manufactured puppet of a green goblin in a commercial who vomits macaroni and cheese on the children. I can't believe those words, in that order, came out of my mouth, but I am so happy that they did. And then after this, what follows is one-man wrecking crew badassery. Apparently he's a blacksmith and creates a very sick-looking axe that is very, very polished and very shiny, so I don't know what type of metal he's using or why he took the time to polish it, because all he's going to do is just use it to slice some heads off. We have a chainsaw battle in here. Really, it goes from a psychedelic, psychological thriller into an action film that does lead to a very satisfying conclusion. However, the very ending of the movie makes you just question everything that you saw, asking yourself, what is he tripping again? Are we actually on Earth? Is this Earth? Like I said, Mandy is an experience that I think anyone that's really into film and is really diving into horror should watch this movie. From a storytelling aspect, the way it builds character is so different from what I'm used to when it comes to films, any film that's on my shelf here. It's so crazy. I believe that this is one of those movies where the more I watch it, probably the more I will love it. Just right now, I have so many questions. And it's something that it's like I wasn't expecting, but what I got, I liked. Again, I feel like today it's at this level, but then in months, years from now, it's just going to increase over time. But right now, I have to give Mandy 3 out of 5 Blu-rays.
Not exactly what I had in mind, but not bad.
Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part of my videos where I pick which movie I'm going to be watching next. And the next one is a PayPal donation recommendation from one of my biggest contributors on this channel, Autumn Blood. Once again, you strike and give me a recommendation, a film that I have never even heard of, a film called The Phantom Carriage, a silent movie from 1921 as you listed in your PayPal note. So that means it's 100 years old this year. Isn't that kind of cool? Well, we'll check it out next time. If any of you have recommendations of films that you want me to review on here, you can make a PayPal donation on the main page of my YouTube channel. Any size donation will do. Just attach your movie recommendation with your donation. And if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, give you a shout out on the channel, and get my review of it published as quickly as I possibly can. So guys, if you've seen Mandy, what did you think about it? Was it as trippy and weird and crazy as I was trying to make it out to be? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you know the next time I'm releasing my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time with my review of The Phantom Carriage. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.